My name is Jesse Saunders, and as you can see, I spend way too much money on video games. Playing video games is something that I've always done and has always been with me. Growing up, my dad had an original Nintendo. My first memory is sitting on my dad's lap, playing the first couple levels of the original Mario. By far, the hardest video game that I've ever played and haven't just given up on after a couple levels is Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. And Zelda 2 is by far one of the most brutal, unforgiving, painful games that I've ever played in my life. I don't think that necessarily video games themselves have become easier. One of the games I'm working on right now, BioShock Infinite, playing it on the hardest difficulty, which is 1999 mode, is absolutely unforgiving and hard. And another good example of a hard video game nowadays is the Dark Souls, Demon Souls series. I think that a lot of it has to do with the fact that a lot of old video games were ports of arcade games. So, I mean, those games and arcades were meant to literally just take all your money as a kid and keep you playing. A lot of games now are more story-driven. You know, they have graphics to really make video games more like movies. So there's a lot more to video games as opposed to just getting to the end and saving the princess like it used to be. The Resident Evil franchise is a great example of a franchise that's become easier over time. But when the original one came out, it was purely a survival horror game, and it was like nothing you'd really ever seen before in video games. You didn't have the ammo to mow down all the zombies in front of you. You had to strategically dodge them, and this is a franchise that by now has evolved more into a third-person shooter where you always have ammo, you always know where you're going, and you never feel lost. So that's a good example of a franchise that's definitely become easier. And I'm the type of gamer where I'd prefer my games as big as possible. I think we're always going to have video games that challenge players. Even if the mainstream gaming market goes towards a more cinematic feel where it's meant to more play through for the storyline, there will always be games that come out in the indie market like Super Meat Boy that are meant to literally drive players insane. And the second that the gaming universe stops giving players challenge, it's going to die.